Today's episode is brought to you by Workfeed, the all-in-one platform to manage your restaurant team. Over 2,000 hospitality businesses use Workfeed's workforce management platform to create staff schedules 50% faster, track hours and salaries without errors, streamline team communication, and automate HR processes. Visit workfeed.io to learn more and to try it out for free. Welcome to a new episode of the After Service Podcast. We're here at the beautiful Ventuno in Amsterdam. My name is Barry. I'm here with my co-host Christian and with our guest of today, Michael Hu. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
For the people who don't know you, can you tell a bit more about what you do yourself? Because you do a lot nowadays.
Well, I try to do less, but yes, I'm quite active. Yes, I studied in Rotterdam. I graduated from the actually a kind of Hogeschool van Economische Studies in Rotterdam. The HES. Yeah. It's like something like a university, but not exactly the same. Economic studies. Been to Japan for my internship, which was very interesting. And then after that, I started at a bank in a dealing room, where actually I majored in. I majored in banking and insurance. And after 2 years of work at the bank, I thought like, well, this is not actually what I'm looking for. And I wanted to do something else. And I chose to be an entrepreneur in a restaurant industry because my background, Chinese background, came from a restaurant family. And then I started something else, of course, not the same as my parents. I started with a new concept, which was show cooking, a wok restaurant, where people can take their own food, select their own food, give it to the chef in front of you, and he will make a nice dish for you in a flaming wok. And that was the concept of Mister Wok. I started with that. And afterwards, I started a second location, a third location, and at the end, I had 7 locations.
It's also fair to mention that you basically created a huge trend in the Netherlands, where you were one of the first who started the whole wok concept, which became...
Correct, because I started the first wok restaurant.
Yeah.
It wasn't the biggest one, but it was the first one, and I had 7 locations. And at that time, it was also not very common that you have more than one restaurant, and all the families had one restaurant. It were all family restaurants, but I started a chain actually.
How did you pull that off? Because I guess you had to break some traditions for how family restaurants were run traditionally to be able to scale it in the first place. So what made it possible for you to get 7 locations without drowning in admin work and...
Well, I came from a typical Chinese family in Holland, a typical restaurant family. So as a young kid, I see how my parents were working at the restaurant 16 hours per day, 7 days per week. So actually always. And then, of course, and unconsciously, you if you want to do something also in the restaurant industry, you want to do it differently. Unconsciously, it's not that during the upbringing that I say, okay, if I want to do a restaurant, I'm going to do it totally different. No, it is like unconsciously you are thinking about that. And I did like that. So the Mister Wok concept is totally different than the traditional way of selling actually not Chinese food, in
Asian. In
general, it's the same as in the United States. You have the orange chicken and the General Toast chicken. If you go to China, give me a orange chicken, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. It's like this. It's the same in Holland. You have babi panggang. It's like the most popular dish on the menu. But it's not Chinese. Also, the
it's
egg
just
rolls.
A Western version of it. Like
It is,
you kind of make up
yes,
your own
yes,
way of
yes.
what Chinese food
It was
is.
created for this market in Holland, yes. And it was a hit, of course, when it got introduced like in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then, because you found out about the concept by going, was it in Belgium or something, where you saw it the first time yourself?
Yes, I was in Belgium and by coincidence at the restaurant, which was actually having a wok concept combined with a teppanyaki. That's a Japanese way of cooking on a grill. So that restaurant had that teppanyaki and the wok, and the wok department is more like where they took the food, and to me it was quite new. It was very innovative, like that the people are selecting their own food at that time was very new, and actually standing in front of a cook. So the interaction was with the cook, somebody actually who was making that food for you. So that was quite exciting for me.
A bit of a show.
Yeah.
They also worked with a lot of flair, where they throw
Yes.
an egg up, they catch it on their spatula, and
That is the teppanyaki, and the wok part is like they put it in a wok.
Yeah, and
they
then the
stand-
fire, yeah.
Yes, I also called it Asian fresh food show cooking. So it is show cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can see them how they show you how they handle the wok, how they prepare your food in the wok in front of you. So.
But the concept was clearly a success. What do you think outside of just the concept of something different? What made it a success back then? Because I guess you didn't just open and then everything was going well from day one.
No, because it is at the end it was a very successful concept because it was very different than just go to a restaurant, sit down, get your menu, orders from menu, and then you get served what you ordered. In this case, it was more like an active restaurant where you also contribute your own doing. And so the entertainment level is higher,
and did that make people talk more about it? Did the media show more interest in it, and that's how the word spread, kind of? So
yes, because it was different. I think everything which is different is newsworthy. So I think that also happened with Mister Wok.
And did it go good from the get-go, from the beginning right away?
No, not at all.
Okay, here we go.
Because it was so new that nobody knew what
Exactly.
how the concept worked. So people were looking at it like, okay, there's someone standing there in the middle of the restaurant, a cook with a tenue uniform, and then they didn't know what to do, and they see a buffet, and at that time it was very new. Like, okay, what's it going to happen now? What do we have to do?
People looking through the window, maybe not coming in
maybe
yet.
people are a little bit afraid of like we don't know what it is. And in Holland, you have a saying which is called "wat de boer niet kent, eet hij niet."
So if you don't know it, you're not eating it until someone tells you to do it, and then it's like, maybe I should try it now as well.
So zero guests were coming in, and so it was very hard for me at the beginning.
How did they start coming in then?
Well, actually, I did a lot to convince people to come in, and one by one, literally one by one, and it eventually the database of guests grew and grew and grew. It was very hard work of printing flyers and go out and distribute flyers everywhere where I could go. It was in that time. It was before actually social media.
Yeah,
it was before YouTube, and it was also before other kind of
So you
channels.
really had to do like physical stuff, just go
out.
out.
Yeah. Old school, and also like trying to find some other magazines and media. Yeah.
Must have been scary though, because you just stepped out. You were young at the time, right? How old were you? 26?
25 actually.
Stepping out of your bank job,
comfort zone with
restaurant.
Every day wearing a suit and a tie. But it was totally different, of course. Of course, stepping out of the comfort zone, and then being an entrepreneur, and now I can say that maybe that first year I have learned more than I've learned the 7 years prior to that.
And that's also what matters. And of course, in the moment, it's of course very scary, but it also forces you to learn.
No
to think.
guts, no glory.
Exactly, but it actually forced you to think entrepreneurial, right?
Yeah.
And how long did it take before you went from basically no guest, you walking around the city with flyers, to actually getting a full house?
3-4 months in total, and every day trying to find new markets, trying to find new guests, trying to find the whole day, 24 hours a day. When I'm not asleep, than working on it.
Well,
And
well,
when you're
but
asleep,
that's also
you're
what
thinking
you-
and dreaming of it.
But that's also what you learn basically from seeing your parents, right? I guess it's also very much a cultural thing that you take with you because you see your parents doing that. I guess you also spend a lot of time in the restaurant of your parents, like helping out and
Yes, when I was very young, yes, it was very normal that you help your parents. If they ask you to help, and you do that without
Yeah.
any questions, without any discussions. Yeah.
that makes sense.
What
Yeah.
role did you have in the restaurant? Were you on the floor?
Which one? Which?
The first one.
The first. I mean the first Mister Wok. You mean?
Yeah, Mr. Wok, yeah.
I
Like,
was
were you greeting guests or were you taking orders?
everything. Every row you can.
Were you sometimes behind?
Yeah. I also had a cook uniform, and with that cook uniform, I also went outside to distribute the flyers.
Okay.
With a cook's hat, so people will say, "What is going on here?" That I wanted to draw some attention at that time.
Smart though, because actually people will think like, yeah, it must be true. He's a cook. Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time, you know, when nobody was coming into the restaurant, it was actually I was in a survival mode, of course.
Yeah.
You have to do many things to survive.
Yeah, but that's also again, it's a good thing because you have to go through that in order to also appreciate it. And
Yeah, exactly.
By the time you opened your second location,
Oh.
did you then have like a brand that would kind of carry that location naturally, so it would be a success from the get?
No, because it wasn't that. If you're talking about the second location, no, it wasn't that famous at the time. You know, I had the first one, which I was, you know, the story I told you about
Yeah.
flyering. And trying to get some attention of media articles, paid newspapers at that time. No internet. Then I took a small break after I sold the restaurant because it was at that time the first one. It wasn't like what I wanted. It was always crowded and full. Well, it was a small restaurant, but that was it. It was too. I mean, how do I say that?
was it too small basically, or
It was actually too small. It wasn't enough challenge for me to do that.
how many people could you have in that restaurant?
49.
Yeah, okay, so
49.
Then, I get
Yes.
it. Yeah. And it didn't maybe quite align with your ambitions in that sense.
Yeah,
then?
maybe unconsciously I had a big ambitions to do that, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So that was I wasn't feeling very satisfied. Very, you know, I didn't feel the like okay, I have to continue with it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's why I
exactly.
sold it, just actually to take one step back
So you
in
sold
order
the
to step.
whole Mr. Wok concept.
Sorry.
That was the first location.
There was the
I think.
first small
Yeah.
location, and then I sold the place.
Okay.
You know, the level of turnover the business was good, so I sold it for a very high price.
Yeah.
And then I had nothing, no obligations. Normally I had to work 16 hours per day, and then suddenly I was actually standing there having a lot of spare time. So and then was thinking by myself like, okay, what would I really want to do? Then I thought like, okay, I really want to go to China once, and then go there and then spend some time there by myself, and then learn the language and the culture, and that's what I did. I just bought a ticket and I went to Shanghai, and actually to be there, it was very nice. It was a very nice period of 3 months, 4 months eventually, and then after 3-4 months. I came to the conclusion like, okay, I have everything here in Shanghai, like a nice place, nice friends, a very busy social life. It's a nice city, exciting city, but I didn't have a career over there. And then it made me decide like, okay, you know what? I have to go back to Holland. I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I mean, the concept-wise, but differently. I'm going to be I'm going to organize that I don't work
On the floor.
on the floor, and then I would only work outside of the restaurant. And then I did. After I came back, I think I remember as the day of yesterday that I just started 2 Mister Woks at the same time, without actually being on the floor. And that was actually my reason to actually continue with the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, because you saw it was possible.
It was possible, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What was the secret ingredients to be able to pull that off?
Just do it.
Yeah,
Don't
but
talk
I
about
mean,
it, just
like,
do
did
it.
you find the right person to manage the restaurant first, or like what?
No, and I think because at that time when I started the second one, it was still not very known. I mean, the show cooking wok restaurant. Then we are talking about 2004, I think, 4 or 5. So it wasn't very known. So you have still a lot of cities, markets where they don't know it, and if you started one, you will be different than the rest.
Yeah.
Well, I learned from the first one. If you're different, you will get noticed.
Yeah.
If you get noticed, people will come, interviews, and other stuff.
So you basically just did the same things again for those new places,
Yes.
flyering, getting people through the door.
Yeah, but the flying I didn't do it by myself.
You had someone doing it for you.
No. We have in Holland there something like you have paid newspapers and you have free newspapers. You know, and the free newspapers, I just put the flyers inside, and then I didn't put their companies who's like doing it for you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and then you can do large numbers.
Yeah.
I didn't do it by myself.
So you just got a little bit smarter from the
yeah,
first time, like,
just a little
how
bit.
can I
smarter.
avoid standing on the street? And
Correct. Yeah.
but fun to hear about. So basically, you sold the place, went to China, you come back, and you think, I'm gonna do it at scale. Now
Yeah,
I want to do the bigger thing to also, I guess, even though you maybe, as you just said, at the time were not aware of the ambition, that it was still already
Yeah.
in your head.
Yes.
It's also interesting that your very first restaurant became a success after really, really much hard work. Then you sell it, take a step back, and come back with a new plan with money on the hand.
Yeah.
I think a lot of restaurateurs don't take that path. You know, they make the first thing work. It might have a little profit, and then spend it into the next thing.
Yeah, or they just stick to
But
the one.
I think that little gap you had in China, that probably gave you.
Yes. I was
lot,
alone,
right?
and I learned that when you're alone, all by yourself, you will get to know yourself better than when you are somewhere and you're always surrounded by people. So if you're alone, then you can think, you can maybe you can draw the conclusion like what you really want.
Yeah.
And then I set the goals, and then I just went for it.
And I think the main thing also that is, apart from being alone, you also pulled yourself out of the location where you always are to a completely new place,
New
where you
environment, new
complete
thoughts,
different culture and everything. Of course,
Correct.
That's- It makes so much sense. And then you ended up building it to, was it 7 locations?
Yeah.
And then you sold it, right?
Yeah, I sold it one by one.
One by one of them. What?
Yeah, not at the same time.
No, exactly. Yeah, that
Yeah,
could have been, of course, if someone buys the entire concept.
Well,
but-
that's going to be the next step then, because I have something else now. But after that, I also like it was very difficult the way I did. It was not the same as I did the first time, but it was still very difficult to get the right people on the right place. And 7 locations, you have maybe at that time we had maybe 6 cooks in a kitchen, and we have a lot of people running, waiters. So
Did you have any business partners?
I did have kitchen partners at that time. Yeah.
Okay,
Kitchen
so
partners.
they also had a share in the company.
Yes, a small share in the company, and that was also very difficult to select your partner.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be friends
But they would take care of everything happening in the restaurant.
in the
during
kitchen.
service,
If
right?
the kitchen
In the
partner
kitchen,
only
yeah.
takes care of the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that was also a procedure, like a learning procedure, like selecting the right partner is also very.
How did you do that?
Well, also by try and error.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a reason why I sold everything.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move on further. I couldn't set up the 8th one, the 9th, the 10th, because it was very difficult. You're working with people, and maybe the company is growing, and at the time you began your journey, and you were at the same level, and then suddenly in a couple of years, the insights and the visions are different. So then you have to you have to split.
Yeah, you grow apart. You maybe also because of that you reach the ceiling, and
Yes, I think every individual person has a like it was a development for myself.
Yeah.
It was a personal development, and I was in the restaurant business. It's not like that. I've learned to be a restaurant owner. I didn't do that. I did banking and insurance.
Yeah.
So
useful background though, to be in at least to have affinity with numbers and everything.
yes.
But no.
But no. Yes, correct. But in practice, no. No. I also had to learn, for example, if you have a goal, you need some, at that time, you need a bank to finance you.
Yeah.
You need a finance. You have to put in some of your own money, but also you need a finance part of the investment. And then you have to write a business plan. So I have to learn to write a business plan. I did it very fast at the time.
Yeah.
And because it was needed to do that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if I want to do the same, the business plan will be written by a professional party. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but back then you had to do everything
I had
yourself.
everything,
Of course.
like what is your role? Every role, from the dishwasher to the marketeer, accountant, cook, chef, everything, the cleaner. Yeah.
And then you sold it.
I sold it. Yeah.
And then you took a break from hospitality. For a while,
I
right?
took a break from the restaurant hospitality and I became a project developer in real estate. Yes, I set up a building near Utrecht, Amsterdam, 4,500 square meters. We bought a plot and then we built a building of, that big. And we have found 9 parties and most of them are national restaurant chains as a tenant. And then just rented it out and being a landlord, not being active on the floor, of course, but being active as a...
How is that compared to the...
Well, the idea was very nice because I saw in the magazines like people being a project developer, it looked very, 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 very nice, very nice. But it's a different ballgame, totally different ballgame. You work with capital.
Yeah.
You don't work with people, you work with capital, you work with banks. So that was quite different, different than in the restaurant industry. You have to be very active, like hospitality and people. You've got a lot of people around you. But in that case, our real estate company, I was the only one who's active, being somebody who sends the invoices. If you don't pay in time, I have to, I have to call you. I have to send you, and also technical problems. I have to solve it by myself. So it was also like a one-man show again.
And then you kind of learned that the other thing was maybe more your style or your thing, to be in hospitality with the people around you.
Maybe at that time, at that age, I thought like, okay, it is nice that we're having owning a big building, like a large sum of money coming in, as a rent, but you also have to, pay the interest and the bank, and eventually, of course, there's a lot of cash flow going to the bank.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's and I thought like, okay, I had the right network and I had the right people around me to set up a new chain again. So that's why I did. I've chosen another path after my real estate development career. And it took something like 5 years. No, 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah. And then you went back and then you went into sushi restaurants.
Yeah,
first,
sushi
I think, right?
restaurants.
Sumo?
Yeah, 4 restaurants at the same time. Had a very large turnover. I just bought it, and because
You bought into it and then you
I just bought into it and I was well known. I know how to finance things. I know how much money I have to put myself in.
Yeah.
So I know how to set the goals and how to achieve the goals. And at that time, I remember it was 2018. It was 4 sushi restaurants, very busy sushi restaurants, big ones, and they had a turnover of 13 million euro per year.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, I was a real estate developer with like that, being the one-man show guy who's doing everything. And on the other day, I was actually at the head of a restaurant chain of 4 restaurants with a large turnover.
Yeah, how many employees? A lot as well. And of
Well,
course-
we also took over the employees and
Yeah.
like 300. I think before, 70, 80 full-timers plus part-timers is like 300.
Yeah, a complete change of events, of course.
It's a career change actually. But what I could see was like the restaurant business. If doing well, the cash flow is very high. The cash flow is very high, so it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning, Mister Wok, I of course also worked very hard. Oh, at the bank, I also worked very hard.
Yeah.
But there was no cash flow, you know. And then the first Mister Wok when I was like 25, I also worked very hard. But yeah, there was cash flow, but
everything was revolving around you, so yeah.
I also worked very hard. So
Yeah.
and then the real estate development is also like capital intensive. It was cash flow out, not cash flow in. There was also a lot of cash flow.
Exactly what you don't want.
I want the other way around. And then suddenly the restaurant business, since 2018, it gave me a lot of cash flow. And with that cash flow, I also build up something else.
Yeah. It's funny because there's a lot of people who say like if you want to have the cash flow, like you should stay away from hospitality, but it is definitely possible.
It is possible if you know the numbers. If you know your numbers, you know that your turnover is like 100, and then your food cost is like 30 or below 30.
Yeah.
That's good.
And the same for your staffing.
Staffing,
can keep that
labor.
below 20, for example. Labor.
It depends. It depends on what kind of concept you have.
Yeah.
For example, I have many concepts. So if you have a all-you-can-eat, in my case, all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue restaurant, you have it is a sit-down concept, and then your staff shouldn't be higher than 35%.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of people serving in the kitchen. 35%. Your housing.
Rent.
Rent
Or
plus
lease.
energy.
Yeah.
That's housing. That shouldn't be higher than 10%.
Yeah,
Should
exactly.
be higher. Yeah. So then you have a calculation of numbers like 100 minus food, minus staffing costs, minus other things. Then you have a yield of like in my case 20% plus.
Yeah. Is that the thing you're always aiming for? At least 20?
At least 20, or even maybe higher, but at least 20.
Ideally, yeah.
Yes, but you also have to know that when is it possible? When is it possible? For example, we have the Nomi concept. It's a sit-down concept. It's a table service concept. So you have a lot of staff to do that. At this very moment, I'm also starting 2 other big restaurants, which is actually all in a Korean barbecue restaurant.
So it's also Nomi location?
It's not Nomi.
It's different.
Yeah. I build different brands and different concepts. So I will create something and I will, execute it.
Yeah.
Execute. So in that case, we also do the Korean barbecue, which is very exciting because you have to cook your own food, barbecue your own food. But you have to get it by yourself, like they did at Mister Wok. So it's coming back, right? I'm combining 2 things together. You have to take your own meat, raw
So it's
beef.
like buffet style, but then you grill it at your own table.
Yeah, and you get back to your table and you barbecue it. Yeah.
Watch him just come up with the next trend.
So it means that less staff.
Yes.
So
clever.
in that case, the staff cost will be like going down.
Yeah, and then you can also, of course, if you want to, then you can always consider, maybe you want to reinvest a little bit more in the food to up the quality there, and then still maintain your margins.
So that's why I said it depends on what concept you are actually doing.
That's the same when you're more high-end, you also tend to spend more on the staffing because service, that is everything in those cases, and then you have to do with those staff can also upsell.
Yeah, if you do high-end, you have to have a lot of staff who has a lot of knowledge. Yeah. If you have a sommelier, they have to tell you a lot of the wines. They have to tell you that. And then those people are specialists. They're very good, but they're very expensive.
Seen from a business perspective, what sort of restaurant do you think is the best for generating cash flow? Is it high-end? Is it like the medium kind of segment? Or is it easy takeaway?
After been through so many concepts, if you're talking about restaurants and not about real estate or hotels, which I also active in, there is a reason why I started 2 big all-in Korean barbecue restaurants, because it is easier to have less staff.
Yeah. And you don't need to educate them that much as well. You don't need to train them in complex things.
You have to train them, but it's not that very complicated.
Yeah, but comparing it
So
to
the system,
sommelier, for
the concept,
example,
the system is doing the work. You have to get your own food, and then the only thing they have to do is actually like being hospitable, like smile and
clean the
everything.
table,
Yeah, and then clean the table instead of actually maybe serving it, explaining what is. You know,
it's way easier to find staff or to
Yeah,
get them
correct.
onto bar because it's just simple.
Correct.
So you would kind of say, or at least from your experience, the all you can eat has actually served you rather well in that sense.
Yes, and then again, because I have maybe like 300-400 staff at the moment. If I start a concept like an all-in Korean barbecue, you need less staff. Less staff means I can control it more. The whole procedure, you can control it more.
Exactly.
That's easier. So the answer to your question is yes. Then that kind of concept to me is easier.
I find it in general very fun to hear, like how you constantly look into these different concepts
And
maybe
improving
changing a little bit.
the
Finding a new trend where you can be a first goer, so to speak, so you're early in there and maybe invest a little bit, fall a few times, but get back up.
Correct.
How involved are you still, like, because as you said, you have now like 300, 400 people, a bunch of different concepts, restaurants, different types, hotels. How involved are you in all of those
Oh,
processes?
well, sometimes I will visit all the locations, but I'm not involved in the operational activities.
No, exactly.
No, I'm
More in the
not standing
background.
in the kitchen. I'm
No.
not standing in the restaurant. I think of I will look at procedures, business procedures, like okay, how long the quality, how long it's going to take from A to B to get the food from A to B, or how how is the price quality, how is the position of when you compare your concept to the competition, how competitive are we, how well known are we? Do we have to put more money into social media? Do we have to put more money in SEO? Something like that. That's my job, and also create newer like things like we just started a loyalty program. So in the past, if you go somewhere, if the restaurant only wants to watch you because you are a steady guest, you'll get stamps or something. That's something
these
old school.
little bingo
But
cards.
nowadays you have apps for that.
Yeah.
And then we just started a loyalty program for Nomi and for Gangnam Bar as well.
Yeah.
How involved are you in like tech in these restaurants in general? Because there is a lot of potential with technology. Now you mentioned that app, but
Technology. In terms of like business procedure, yes, we have like, for example, at Nomi, they order something with tablets.
Yeah.
So you order something, and there's a lot of tech involved.
yeah,
Yeah. But then again, tech procedures, everything costs a lot of money, and the newest concept like the all-in Korean barbecue. Yeah, we don't have tablets.
No, people take their own stuff, of course.
Yeah. We reduce everything. So that's why, again, to me, that's the most easy way and the very controllable way to owning a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. So the main thing you just be focusing on is seeing
Sales.
Yeah. How do we make? How do we get the best margins here? How do we run the best possible business?
Yeah.
I find it also another thing with Nomi. You also have like a sushi / Korean barbecue drive-through. Right?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
How did that come about? Because that is quite unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. It was like during the lockdowns in 2021.
Yeah.
So in Holland, you couldn't serve the guests. It was not allowed. It was forbidden. So we couldn't do anything. We didn't have any delivery. So we had to do nothing. So except thinking like, okay, what can we do then? And at that time, I was looking for locations. I saw that like the McDonald's and the KFC, they could sell through a drive-through.
Yeah.
They were allowed to do that. Well, we weren't allowed to do that. So then at that time, I started to search for drive-through locations. But it is very difficult for if you're not McDonald's, you're not KFC, you're not Burger King, to get locations. If you're a landlord or a real estate developer and you develop a drive-through location, restaurant plus a drive-through, of course you will be aiming. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
I like your ringtone.
Party time.
It is. You will always, as a real estate developer, you are always aiming at the big four or big three first. If you can get them as tenants, then your business is good. They'll pay a lot of rent,
and they will stay there forever.
They will stay forever, and your investment is very secure. So that's why it is very difficult for somebody who's not very well known to get locations, because the locations are very scarce.
Yeah, and it's also the concept is not proven to work as a drive-through, of course.
Correct.
I would also pick McDonald's, because have you ever seen a McDonald's?
I mean, I would have done the same.
Yeah.
I would have done the same. But in 2022, it was like a lockdown, and then one real estate developer, they had the guts to actually to sign with me. The first one that was in Duiven, Food Village Duiven. It's going to open in 4 weeks now. They had us like a construction stop, and now it's we are also preparing to open a restaurant now. It's a food village, the biggest in outdoor food village in Europe, and that is the first sushi and a Korean drive-through in whole Europe. You have that in the United States, you have
but
it in Canada.
everything is drive-through.
Yeah. And you have in Japan, you have that, but in whole Europe, you don't have that.
I find it very cool, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, sushi, because of the all-you-can-eat sushi concept, which got introduced in 2007, it's mainstream now. In Holland, there's no one who doesn't know what sushi is.
No, it took a while before it was like fully up to speed, but then everyone would go there. And I think the same thing applies.
Everybody knew.
Denmark
Everyone knows what sushi is. You know the difference between maki or nigiri. You know that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was also very needed to actually now launching that product, the drive-through, plus of course the 300 seats of Nomi in the city. I think that's a very good thing. Yeah.
And what are your own future plans? Because you build up quite the empire now. What do you see in the future? Like, how far do you want to go?
Well, I'm active in the restaurant industry, real estate in Holland, and hotels in Holland, also hotel real estate. Those are the 3 activities I have: the restaurant, real estate, and then hotel real estate. Yes, I think at the moment, maybe also expanding, but trying to find more younger partners who I can maybe mentor, teach, and then maybe...
And do a business together with them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's actually what my goal is now.
It also makes sense. We actually spoke with another guest on another episode, also a Dutch guy, Tijn, and he also constantly works with other partners, and then he basically finds people with potential, says we will do it together, and then they basically work as the manager, and they get a share of the profit, and then over time they buy themselves in, or they start it together. But I think it makes a lot of sense, and also allows people, like when you were younger yourself, to...
Oh, I didn't get that chance. I didn't get that chance.
No, but you were making it easier for people, right? So that's...
The reason why I do it is I actually needed that, what I'm actually supplying, what I'm doing. But I didn't. I did it by myself, of course. It was a longer journey, but it was worth it, of course.
But it's nice to be able to give back in that way.
Yeah. I mean, if you can make some people happy with that, then
just have to come up with a complete new concept again that is not done.
Oh no! I'm into the Korean. Everything which is what is Korean is hot now. You have Korean beauty, K-pop.
Yeah, it's just the beauty.
You have K-pop and what else? Netflix. What's the game? The Squid Game.
Squid Games,
the Gangnam Style. It started all with the Gangnam Style.
Yeah, with that. Yeah. Hey, your new place is also called Gangnam, right?
Gangnam Bar.
Yeah,
and then you have association. What
does Gangnam mean?
Gangnam is a area in Seoul.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an area.
But it's a bit the hip area. Right?
Yeah. It's like the pipe here.
The pipe, exactly. It's like the funky area.
There's a similar tendency with Japan. Like I also see, like Japan is getting more and more popular.
Yes, Japan was also always popular and very unknown. I was in Japan a year ago, but I also went to Seoul. It is totally different, but the dynamics of the Korean way of introducing themselves and is more the dynamic than the Japanese one. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can also see that you have the Korean barbecue, which is also flavored, marinated, all colors, everything. And then you have the Japanese barbecue style. That's very plain.
Simplistic.
Yes, simplistic, but also quality meat, quality this, quality that, but less is more.
Yeah.
And the Korean way is you have a lot of colors and a lot of colors. You have
a
to
bit more
smell
extra,
a lot.
A bit more extravaganza. In that
Yeah,
sense,
yeah. That's totally different. That is actually the same with.
Yeah, but it's fun that you just kind of find your different kitchens where you then align yourself with. So that is also the place where, if you were to open a new restaurant, that's also where you would keep your focus for now. Or?
Well, I'm always looking for a challenge. You know, like you talk, like Nomi is not high end, not low end. Maybe the next step will be a very high end restaurant, which is actually very difficult now, because if the economy is not going very well, the people are tending to do something like less like aiming at the.
I have a challenge for you.
Ah.
Like in Denmark, we have quite a few Michelin stars who actually broke the record for the fastest Michelin star. So
40 days.
41 days, I think, is the record now.
Yeah.
So after 41 days, after opening the restaurant, they got their first star. Of course, also a matter of timing.
You need to be lucky.
But that's
I don't think I would aim for a Michelin star. You know why? Then there will be strings attached.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to have the freedom. Like, okay, if I sell you a A5 Wagyu Japanese, the most expensive cuts of meat in the world, then it costs this.
Yeah.
Then that I have the freedom to do that. I have the freedom to how to present it.
You have to otherwise stay in a bit of a lane. There is also alternatives though, because I was watching this series of actually a Korean fried chicken in New York, and they're also trying to get a Michelin star because to have the best fried chicken.
Yeah.
But another thing, and if you were to indeed consider going into, let's say, fine dining, maybe trying that with a Korean restaurant, I have a good recommendation for you to go to. We're speaking about Copenhagen earlier. There's a 2 Michelin star Korean restaurant in Copenhagen.
New York. Oh, in Copenhagen?
In Copenhagen, yeah.
Oh.
So it's a Danish guy with, I think his parents are from Korea. So he spent some time there, he's very fascinated about his heritage, the kitchen. And then he made a fusion of the Danish simplicity with the Korean cuisine. Built a restaurant, I think it's called Koan.
Yeah.
And they have 2 Michelin stars, so it's definitely a nice one for you to.
I would visit it.
To check
definitely.
it out.
Yeah.
And also there's some Korean barbecue places in Copenhagen as well.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Good ones.
I haven't been, but like.
Have you ever eaten Korean barbecue?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have time to try it before this, which is terrible. But I have some. We had some friends who live with us, Julia, in Copenhagen. She lived in Seoul for a while, and they often went to the Korean barbecue place, and they said it was really good. So, because they missed being there for a while.
Okay.
So, but I can highly recommend, and they have a good.
I would go there. I mean, I haven't been to Denmark before, so I think it's definitely. I wanted to go to the New York Korean restaurant which has 1 Michelin star, but now I know that.
And this is closer.
And closer, then I would definitely.
And you spare a little bit on your flight ticket, which you invest in.
You invested in there, yeah. No problem.
Exactly. You should definitely visit. Yeah. We're also running out of time, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to meet you and to have a chat with you.
Let us know if you come to Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Then we can go there together. Then we can try the Korean.
Okay, good idea. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for having me.
Likewise.
Thank you.